Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another music marathon, and today it is part 5 of the Steve HILLAGE story. And today we are going right out of my comfort zone. This is an area of music that I have really no interest in. But because Steve HILLAGE is in it and it's part of his history, we have to have a look at it. And the band we're talking about are System 7. Now, System 7 was formed in 1989 by Steve HILLAGE and his partner Miket Girardi. Both former members of Gong, of course, and they were sort of immersed in this electronic dance music. One of their key collaborators is DJ Alex Patterson from The Orb, and it is an interesting music. What I found listening to this list is that there are some really good bits and some great Steve HILLAGE guitar. We're also incorporating mirror system, which is a bit more ambient sort of sound. So this is going to be a real railroad today for a lot of us, those that have put it together and those of us who are watching it. Now, there are 17 albums because there's quite a lot, so we'll get straight into it. So coming in at number 17, now this is the second album as Mirror System, and it's called Reflector DJ Mix, and it came out in 2010. So it's just remixes by a DJ of some of their stuff. It's got the healing feather on here, Saya Sand, Sasha Funk, Tormentor, Trip Switch, Cartwheel, Peace Division featuring Pleasant Jiham, Voodoo, got Chain Chicken Kiev, Crimea, Phonique, Blue Tech, and System 7. Unfortunately, I couldn't listen to any of this because it's not available. I couldn't find it, so I'm going to give it a big fat 0 because I just couldn't listen to any of it because it's not available. So, coming at number 16, this is the 14th album by System 7, and it's called Field of Dreams, and it came out in 2020. First one is called Field of Dreams. It's totally out of my comfort zone, but what I will say, it's very well put together. It's not thrown together. There's a thought process from Steve and Mariquette. Bit repetitive. There's little bits of Jean-Michel Jarre sort of sound on there. There's not much guitar on it, so we'll leave it at that. Then we have The Love for Phoenix, which is the export version. Sounds all the same to me. That horrible drum. Yeah. And Positive Noise. 3 tracks into the album and I get bored. Same all the way through. Then we have this song called Chic Psychedelic. Now this is a little bit psychedelic in places. It's that horrible tinny drum though. So yeah. Then we have Manic Shammick, which is live. Same 7 minutes of the same monotonous tone. Oof. Then we have a thing called Hintori. Now, I actually like. This is probably the best track. It's got some great Steve HILLAGE guitar pieces on it. It's not awful. It's not brilliant, but the highlight is the guitar work from Steve HILLAGE. Then we have Alpha Wave. How can you call this music? I really don't understand. I don't know what. We'll move on, shall we? On the 7th night, the Boom Mix. This is. Yeah, it's repetitive. Then we got the Ring of Fire. Nothing to do with Johnny Cash. It's just loads of drums and drum machines. Doesn't do anything for me. And then we've got This is a Rozo Battis, which is remixed by someone called Rovo, and you'll be hearing more about them later. It's alright. It's different for this album. Then we got Barabuda, the Art of Chill mix. I love how all these dance have all these weird gravel mix and all sorts. Yeah, absolutely yunk. And then we've got another version of Field of Dreams, the Funky Gong mix. Doesn't sound no different from the other one. Then another version of Field of Dreams, the Andoroyas remix. I don't get it. Then a Rike remix of it. Oh my god. And then you think that's the end? No, we've got the Artman remix. No better than any of the others. Yeah, talk about flogging a dead horse here. 3 tracks and about 4,000 different versions of it. A bit boring. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 1 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 15, this is going to be fun all the way through, I think. We have an album called Up, which came out in 2011. This goes down to System 7 and a guy called Gerald, and it's called Positive Noise. Actually, alright. Sensible drum programming. You actually listen to it. And then we got System 7 with Funky Gong Miru and Funky Gong. Now I'll give you one thing about it. They know how to program a drum in this. It actually fits round Steve's guitar bit. It's alright. Then we have Berry Mambo. 7.5 minutes of the same repetitive thing. Boring. Tell why I don't like dance music. And then we get the Mind Boggles. It's boring again. Total. No, same thing. Dirt. Oh dear. I suppose it's alright if you're a youngster and you want to dance, but to listen to, you can't sit down and say, I'm going to put on System 7 and have a chill out. Nah, doesn't happen. At last. Oh dear. So irritating. You felt when listening to this that there was a... Because obviously I haven't got any of this. It's on Spotify. I've been listening to this. It feels like that your connection's what you thought. Is my connection all right on the Wi-Fi? Because it kept dropping out. But no, it's actually on the thing. Because I found it on YouTube. And it's doing the same thing. So, yep. A load of old rubbish. Then we get Dolphin Smack. Oh, I don't know. I found it fast. Then there's an E-Fusion. I just wonder what dance music's all about. Then we have a System 7 and a guy called Gerald again, and I Seem to Be a Verb. Probably the best of the worst bunch, really. It's got some sort of little melodic tune on it. Then we get Plasmic Part. It's got some guitar in this. Hey! That's it. People say that heavy metal and heavy rock's the same, but this is worse. Same boring chords, same repetitive noise. So I'll give you this an RTO ranking of 1.5. We're going to have some very low marks today, I can tell you. Okay, coming in at number 14, we have an album that was the 7th album, and it was released in 2001, and it's called 7th Wave. We have another version of Manic Shamik. It's 9 minutes long, and the only good bit of it is about 5 minutes in, you get a little bit of guitar, and that's it. Yeah. Not for Ian. High Plans Drifter. Oh, just the same repetitive sounds and tones on and on and on. And this is 8 minutes. Oh. I didn't get through all the way that. I really, really didn't. 7 o'clock. It's 10 minutes long. I got through 3 minutes and I couldn't listen to any more of it. I put it back on another day and I managed to get to 5. I just didn't get into it at all, of course. Okay, Soft Rain comes now. Now this has got a bit of a reggae beat to it. A bit different. But it's still repetitive. Then we have Saldamar. The start of this is really good. I thought, oh, this isn't too bad, and then it went downhill gradually. The first 2 minutes are okay, and then the rest of the track, which is 7 minutes, just falls away. Yeah, Varukala. Dance music, you see the kids dancing to it, but not me. Then we have a thing called The Abyss. Now, I quite like this. It's ambient, it's atmospheric. It's got a little bit more structure. Best thing on the album. And then we got Chiraginto. It's just dirt. Yeah. Okay, that was the last track. Just another of those tedious albums. But it's got one track that I didn't mind. It's probably the first one I'd listened to and gone, oh, yeah, this is alright. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 2 out of 10. Right, let's move on to number 13. Came out in 1996 and it's called The Power of 7. The first track on here is called Interstate. Now this isn't actually too bad. It's got a lovely quirky keyboard in it, and some of the drums alright. Not too bad. Civilization, it's alright with all the ambient keyboards, and then that stupid drum beat comes in and just ruins it. Then we get Davy Jones' Locker. It's okay, but it's just 11 minutes. It gets a bit tedious. I think if it had been about 2 or 3 minutes, we might have had a half decent track, but no. It just gets tedious, and I had to switch it off. Big Sky City comes next. Repetitive. Nothing memorable on that. Good Morning. Good use of Tamla drums on this, but the rest of it is irritating. Night Owl, sorry. I really struggle with tracks like this. As I said, it's supposed to be alright being a nightclub, but it's just not the sort of thing you can listen to while you're doing the housework or just reading the newspaper. Then we have this Osmosis Suite to the Power of 7. Oh dear, the whole thing is just... I could only stomach half of 30 seconds of this. It just is a horrible, irritating noise. Then the second part is called Hangar 5084. It's alright. Chicago Indian, it's just garbage, drum beats. Then we have a track called Mecha Tube, which is Youth and Steve HILLAGE. I'd never thought I'd hear some great guitar riffs in a trance dance track, but it's quite effective. The guitar playing from Steve is really good. Then we get Europa. The best thing on here, lots of atmosphere, the keyboards, and none of them hideous drum beats. It's all about ambience. And I don't mind modern tracks that have got ambience and atmosphere. This has got it. I only managed to get through 2 of the tracks all the way through. The rest of it was so irritating. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 2.2. Time for a drink. Right, coming in at number 12, we've got the second album that came out in 1993, and it's called 777. But originally released by Big Life in the United Kingdom in 1993. So we've got more people on here. You got Steve HILLAGE on guitars, keyboards and programming, Miquette Giraldi on keyboards, Youth on keyboards, Tony Thurp keyboards, Lewis Keogh keyboards, Chris Weston keyboards, and then Alex Patterson who's doing ambience and navigation. Of course, Youth's real name is Martin Glover. So the first track is called 7/7 Expansion. At least it's sort of listenable, this one. It's not too bad to listen to. Although it's 10 minutes, there's bits that I sort of fall asleep in, but it brings you back. A cool A cool, dry place. Yeah. Just loads of noises. Nothing to report on that one. Then we got D Sir. You know I hate drum machines at the best of times, but they speed them up. That doesn't comprehend with anything else, and it just irritates me. On the seventh night, bit of vintage Steve HILLAGE guitar work on this, and it's good how he incorporates it into the dance trance. Sinbad, oh dear, just techno dance stuff, and I just couldn't bide it. Quest. The beginning of this actually reminds me of Magic Fly by Space. I think it goes off into this rubbish. The beginning's good though. Ship of the Desert, sorry. Just another of those songs. It's a little bit too long. Doesn't do anything. Okay. Let's get this right. It's one of these words that's no spaces. Fade-dee-doo, or something like that. Second favourite track on here. Yes, I've got a second favourite track. Got some nice ambient keyboard in it. Well, I found 2 tracks that were pretty good on this, but the rest of it, So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 3 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 11. This is fun, this is. It's the 8th album. Came out in 2004, and it's called Encantado, which is Spanish for enhanced. And HILLAGE and Giraldi were inspired to use this title following a visit to Cuba on the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, I know Cuba because I've been there. So there you go. Planet 7. Oh, the bass line is just, this dancey bass line is just irritable, and I don't like it. It just turns me off the track. Bewitched. That horrible speeded up drum beat, yeah, it gives you headaches. Back to reality. Yes, Steve, you should have gone back to reality and gone back to what you were renowned for. Octopussy. This is the first track on this album that I listened to all the way through. It's 7 minutes 18, and it's not too bad. Then we got bass rock. Too repetitive. 2 minutes, and for the next 7 minutes it's the same. Then we got Capri. I like this. It's quite listenable. I like the drum beat on it. When it's slowed down to a reasonable thing, you can actually hear it. It's quite ambient as well. It's not too bad. Gazed and Diffused. Don't mind this either. Some great guitar bits from Steve HILLAGE. I love how it incorporates it until the drum beat comes in, and it goes downhill from there. Dance of the Deer. The guitar work on this from Steve is fabulous, and it fits in with the sort of trancey beat. I don't mind that one. Then we have Europa Blue. Quirky. Don't mind it. Well, I listened to 3 of the 9 all the way through, so we're getting better. But I'm actually going to give this one, for the 3 tracks that are on it, are pretty good. And I sort of got into it because it's very similar to the modern Jean-Michel Jarre. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Shock horror. Okay, we've reached the top 10. So coming in at number 10, I've just knocked the microphone. Released in 1997, and it's called Golden Selection. So the first track on here is called Rite of Spring. 8 minutes and 56 seconds of the same beat. Doesn't change once. Rubbish. Then we got Don Coloni. Bit of an art and noise sort of thing here going on. It's quite good. Then we got Y2K, the Bitniks mix. I love these. It's listenable. you can sort of listen to it. I played that all the way through. Then we have Ring of Fire. Now we've heard the remix, but this mix isn't not much difference really. I can't say what do they do when they remix it. So what I did, I played the remix and I couldn't find anything different. Even had it on the headphones, which was not a good idea. Then we have Extremist. I can never get into this techno drums. No. Wave Bender, or repetitive all the way through. Simon X-Files. It's quite ambient. It's probably the best track on the album. Not too bad. And then we got Maracaba. Repeating. It just gets repetitive. And for 9 minutes and 51. Nah. Then we got Y2K, Back to the Future. Certainly one of the better tracks on there. Listen to it all the way for. Then we have another version of Borobudur. We've got a nice piece of piano work at the beginning, and then that stupid beat comes on, and then it falls apart. There's more tracks on here that I'd actually sit down and listen to again. Didn't expect that one. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 5.6. Okay, where are we? Coming in at number 9. The third album. They made 2 albums, 0.3. One was Fire album, and it was ordered. This is the Fire album. First track on here is Serenes or Serene. Not a bad version. Now there's a version on the Water album, but not as good. Alpha Mage, the Glees mix. It's okay, a little bit different. We'll talk about the other version later. Mysterious Traveller. Again, we'll talk about this later. Then we got Coltrane, the Fire mix. There's not much difference between both mixes. This one is a little shorter. Radiate. One of the tracks that's not on the Water album. It's okay in bits, bit repetitive, but okay. Overview, another different track. I don't mind it. It's quite ambient. I like the keyboards in this. Then we have a thing called Gliding on Duo Tone Curves. This is Martin Glover, or Youth, coming in on this. It's alright. It's got a bit more depth than the one on the Water album. Jupiter is a lot better version than the one on the Water. Then we have Dr. Livingston, I presume. My favourite track. It's alright. Then we got Batacao. Not much different than the other one. Okay, what can we think of this one? It's alright. It's got... I was listening to more. By the time we got into this, I was listening to more. So I should give that one an RTO ranking of 5.8. Okay, then, coming in at number 8, 2015 now, for the 12th album, Export. We have this little bit of Hintori Cool Song, very short. It's a shame it's not a long version. Then we have Chic Psychedelic, the Export version. So many versions of these tracks. I've listened to the other one, of course. No much different. Didn't do much for me. The Colour of Love is the same as the other version. The Queen, just the same old, same old. Love for the Phoenix. There's another version of this we'll talk about, but this is just long and boring. Okay, Infinity Boulevard. Alright, beat 5. The drumming just gets muffled. Ugh. Angelico Presto. Dance track that you just don't want to listen to if you don't like dance music. Opal Flash. I love the guitars in this, but the rest of it is rubbish. Stovepipe, 7 minutes of the same. Then we got Rovo Battis, the System 7 remix. The tracks on here are a little bit harsher than they are on the Mirror System sort of version. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.8. Okay, then coming in at number 7. This is the third album by Mirror System, and it's called Endport. Came out in 2015. The Worn to the West. Quite like this. It's more ambient sound. I like the Mirror System because it's a bit alternative and it's a more ambient. It's nice. Then the Curror of Love. I like this version. It's better than the other version on the export mix, whatever it is. It's got a better vibe. Far Journeys. I listened to this all the way through and I quite liked it. Mirror System's Blue Ocean. It does give you that feel of the ocean. There's a bit of a whale song in there. Yeah. Batu Belong. Very mysterious and bells. Love Machine. It's got a great guitar solo from Steve on it. It's a very short track, but the guitar solo is really good. Psychedelic Check. No better than the one on the export version. Then we get Perfect Stranger, Free Cloud, quite good. Got a bit second favourite on the quirky keyboards. Then we get Mirror System, Batu Balong, Jams Retouch, whatever that is. Not too bad. Changes a bit, but it's not so repetitive. There's some nice album tracks on this. I was quite surprised, bit shocked. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in number 6 is the 11th, and this is with a musician called Rovo, and it's Phoenix Rising, and it features bass guitar Jim Hardara. Rovo plays drums and percussion. We got electric violin Yuji Kasushi. Guitar is Cecily Yatamoto. This is members of Rovo. Synthesizer Tatsuki Masuko. Steve HILLAGE. And of course Maquette Garaldi. We got Hinatori. Lots of noises in 12 minutes. Couldn't make head or tail on this. Love for the Phoenix. A lot better. The other version has more to it. There's so many different versions of this. Meeting of the Spirits. I quite like this track. I think this is one of the best tracks I've heard by System 7. It's got some great guitar work from Steve. It's okay. Then we get Cisco Phoenix Rising version. This is a good version. Some more good guitar work from Steve HILLAGE. Unbroken comes next. Lots of guitar again from Steve HILLAGE. He's really making use of the guitars on this. Then we got Sino Dub Phoenix Rising version. It starts off and then it jumps all over the place. Unseen on Scene. Nice textures and Jerome tones on this. A great track to end the album. I would say 80% of this album is pretty ambient. The other is all over the place, 20%. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got the 9th album, and this is Phoenix, without Rovo. First track is In Tori. It's a lot better than the other version, it's a bit shorter, it's not so bad. Then we have Space Bird, quite good. Again, we've got lots of guitar in this and some nice keyboard runs in it. This is then they do a track with Slack backup and it's called Scramble. Don't like it. Fast and Furious. Then he's jamming with a jam with ELE Elmar. It's good. Masato Eternity. The ambience on this is really nice. I quite like that. Song for Phoenix. Best version of it of all the versions I've heard. The lovely use of the keyboards is nice. Sounds really good. And then there's a track with David Allen from Gong. Strange Beginnings. I thought this would be more down the Gong route. I was wrong. Even they twisted David Allen's to get involved with the dance music. Then we have a track they did with Son Kite, Chiro, 10 minutes of nothing. Then we have Makaruma, one of my favourites. This again, it's just the guitars. It's static, Wolfhead. It's all right. The first 5 songs on this are pretty good, and then it just went down the pan. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. By this time of listening to System 7, my head was totally caved in. So coming at number 4, we've done 0.3 fire. This is 0.3 water. We get another version of Bakatao, which is called the World Turtle Mix. It's got a funny sort of percussion on it. It's not too bad, it's a bit quirky. Then we have Serenes, the Tranquility Mix. Much better than the other mix. You get more of Steve's guitar on this. Actually quite good, and it's quite relaxing. Then we have Coltrane. This is the Firefly Mix. I think this is a bit more ambient, and for a dance music it's not too bad. Then we have Mysterious Traveller, the Dust Devils Mix. Got some nice textures, better than on the Fire album anyway. Then we get Dr. Livingston, I presume. This is the Hot Tatabooey Mix. More atmospheric. It's got some nice whispering on here. Probably from Marrakesh. I like this. Much better. Alpha Wave, the Hemi Sync Mix. When are we going to get the kitchen sink mix? It's quite ambient. Some nice keyboard runs on it. I don't mind that. Liquid Sky. A lovely keyboard on this, and the guitar from Steve is good. If they do more of these tracks, it'd be alright. Gliding on Duo, Tone Curves Cascade Mix. Whispery things, it's alright. Then we get Jupiter, Feed Your Head Mix. Yeah. Sounds too much like the other one, there's not much different in it. Okay, I quite like this album actually. It's quite atmospheric. It's got the better mixes of the 2 albums. I think if you got the 2 albums and put the best mixes of both albums, you'd probably have not a bad album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay then, coming in number 3, we've got the debut album called System 7. They did release a different version in the United States, and it was called 777. So Sunburst is the first track. I like Steve's guitar work on this. It actually fits with the drumming, and it's really good. I was shocked and stunned. Then we got Freedom Fighters. Got a lovely vocal here from Marquette. Get a name right. Maquette. She's got a nice voice. I was well impressed with that one. Some nice little keyboard bits on there, and a little bit of atmospheric keyboards, guitars. Very good. Then we get a track called Hababi. Once again, Steve's guitar is on this. It sounds like it's going into the theme from Shaft. I quite like that. Altitude, really ambient. Some nice guitar effects on that one as well. Bon Humeur. Don't like this. Sort of a mishmash thing. Fractal Liaison. Very short piece, but brilliant, because it's got a lot of guitar on it from Steve. So ambient, and the keyboard, it's just very atmospheric. Then we have a track called Dog. Rock meets rap, doesn't work. Thunder Dog. Now this is got the Orb, and there's one or two tracks by the Orb that you know the Orb's involved with this. It's got that sound. Listen, a little bit repetitive. The drum machines are tinny. Yuck. Strange quotations. Yeah, the vocals all right, the guitar's all right. It's all right. Miracle, just don't like the drum beat in it. Just puts me off. Over and Out, which is nice. It's got that oriental feel, nice keyboards, some nice guitar tones. It's not a bad album. You know, there's more tracks on here I like than dislike, so which is an improvement. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 2 is the first album by Mirror System, and it came out in 2006. First track on here is called Cloud 11. This is really nice. Gets away from that dance thing and more ambient, atmospheric stuff. It is really good. Nice guitar and a little bits of guitar on there. There's some nice keyboard runs. Stella, the Den 2D mix. It's got some Spanish guitar with the dancey sort of drum beat, and the Spanish guitar works. HILLAGE is next. It's a track that's got different types of percussion and tones, swirly keyboards. It's alright. And then we got Flex E-Fun. If it's this track, again, it's got that dance feel to it, but it's you can listen to it because it's got more of a structure. Yeah, it worked for me, that one did. System of Folly. Some good guitar work on here, and I'm going to give it my favourite track because it's just Steve HILLAGE doing what Steve HILLAGE does. Lazy comes next. It's okay. It's a bit ambient, then it mumbles away, comes back in. Take a couple of minutes off this, and you've got sort of a reasonable track. Mirror Beach. Initially, I liked it, and then it just went on and on. 8 minutes, didn't go anywhere. It's like being on a roundabout and you, as a kid, and trying to get off and you can't. M Theory. The effects are okay. The guitar's okay. Flulicity. One of these long tracks, and I think it's too long. It's got some nice. It's got a nice guitar solo on it though. Merchants of Colours. The guitar at the beginning of this is pretty good. Then there's this sort of long note, and it goes on and on and on, and you went, stop it, finish it. Then we get Translisso, which is a very eerie piano beat. It's not a bad album. It's the best Mirror System album. It's got some decent guitar all the way through from Steve. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.8. Okay, after this long and at times nightmarish ranking, I actually found one album that is not brilliant, but it is the best, and it's their 13th album from 2018, and it's called Cafe 7. The first track on here is called First Wave. This is probably the best track that I ever listened to this, that I heard from Mirror System and System 7. It's got that Jean-Michel Jarre feel to it. It's got a nice melody. It's well structured. It is the best thing I've heard by System 7, Mirror 7, whatever you want to call them. Very good. Yeah, that's actually a Mirror System track on here. Then there's a System 7 track on here called Big Summit. I like the vocal in it, and apart from that, it's horrible. Pseudo. I do like Steve's little injections of guitar on this. Then we get Mirror System and Ajaya, Smooth Operator. Another song I didn't mind. It's got some nice guitar work. Then we have a Smuggler and a Juggler in the Biz. Again, it's got that dancey feel to it, but it's not irritating, and Steve's guitar really adds to it. Then we get System 7 with Marcus Hendrickson and the song called A Million Suns. Again, I listened to this all the way through. It's got some nice keyboard swells in it, and it's got a nice guitar piece as well. Then we've got Jacucho and Justice Killed. It's shocking. Horrible. Yeah. The blip on the album. Electra is next. It's got some mystique to it. Some nice keyboard runs. Atmospheric. Then we got Delilah. I mean, I don't know much about this band or whatever. I don't know if Delilah Derbyshire Appreciation Society is a band or a title, but it's got Cloudface. It's a bit different. Some nice guitar bits going on. Very strange track. Golden Mission goes down as a Mirror System track, and it's got that ambient thing and some great guitars. There's lots of tracks on here I could actually listen to again. But I won't be adding any of this to my collection. This was an interesting one, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10 because I think out of all of them, this is the one that I could listen to again. But this is very hit and miss. Of all the albums, I think if I could find 20 tracks out of the whole catalogue, I'd struggle. But it was an interesting one, this was. But it's part of Steve Hillage's history, really. And you've got to take your hat off to him for being so bold to do this. But it's very popular, which is good for him. Anyway, we got the final part of the story next week, and it's just featuring Steve Hillage, where he's popped upon a couple of albums. So, that was a tough one. Anyway, that's all for today, and after doing that, I don't need to do any more today. But I'll be back tomorrow, and we got the first Battle Royale tie of the year. And what do we got for you tomorrow? We've got Boston, which was suggested by Ralph, and he's up against the one and only Mr. Rob Walker, and he's put in the Stone Roses. Go and watch Rob's vinyl tag of 2024. Even if you haven't got a channel, take part, put your list together. It's a lot of fun. A lot of familiar faces on the live stream have put theirs in. Richard's done one. Mike has done one. So go and have a look at that. And also tomorrow we're going to do a pick and mix is in the camera's eye, and we've got a great concert from Alan Parsons. It's the One Note Symphony that he recorded with the Tel Aviv Orchestra. Very good concert, so we'll be talking about that. So have a good day. The sun has just come out after yesterday's debacle, so we will actually get out for a walk today. So bye for now.